Hey guys, it's Camfrey15 and I'm back with another video for you guys. And man, what can I say? My Hero Academia keeps getting better, and better throughout the weeks. We already just came off one of literally the best My Hero Academia episodes to another really good My Hero Academia episode today. And man, this is going to be amazing to see next week. So yeah, other than that, we're here on My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 12. And I believe this is the first episode of My Hero Academia. I think in 2020, I believe. I believe so. Yes, this is. Um, but we get the fight I've been waiting to see. I never thought we'd get it this early on. I thought they'd make us wait. But we're getting the fight early on, and this is Deku versus Overhaul slash a little bit of Night Eye versus Overhaul. So, anyways, we're gonna get into the episode because this episode was a very good episode today. Now, like I said, it's not as good as last week's episode. I think last week's episode is still better than this one, but it was still a good episode. Um, I forgot to even take notes this episode, but I'm gonna try to just remember from what I basically saw because this episode was intense, this episode was crazy, and this episode had me scared for my guy Deku because this is Deku's, in my opinion, this is Deku's legit first fight against a villain by himself. You know, where he has to take him on with no reinforcements by himself, and it doesn't go too well for him this episode. But anyways, the episode starts off basically from the aspect of, they cut back a few minutes later to when after they were done taking care of the wall guy or Mimic. And after they take care of Mimic, they're questioning it about where the League of Villains are and if they should take care of the League of Villains. So, Rockjaw, I think, or it was Rockjaw or Rocklock. I forgot. It's one of those names. But he basically, tells them like, don't worry about the League of Villains. We can worry about them later. That's what the police are here for, anyways. He's like, go on and go save that girl, and go save and stop Overhaul. And basically, we get a little bit of backstory or a little bit of, I guess, a character development moment, which can actually make you feel some sympathy towards Rocklock, and that is the aspect of him basically, revealing that he, with his wife, they recently had a child, and he was basically monologuing when looking at Deku, saying like, "Look, I may have come across like a complete, basically a-hole to you guys in the meeting room, because people from UA shouldn't be here, but it's only because you know I just have a newborn kid, or had a newborn kid, and I can understand. I are basically, in essence, he's talking about like he was really afraid for the UA students, Deku and the others, because he feels like they weren't up to the task because they were still technically kids. But after seeing today, he can easily tell he's like, these guys are better than us, and they were ready more than I ever thought they would be. So it was nice because now you actually be like, you know what? I don't hate you as much as I hated you way back in like episode 6, I believe, when he was basically dissing out on all the UA students, saying they shouldn't even be included in this. But again, you know, next generation of heroes is slowly doing their jobs, and they're convincing these older heroes that these guys are up to the task, and we're training them well. So, anyways, that was a nice little backstory moment. So then we get to the you know, end credit scene from last week where Deku kicks the wall open, and then all of a sudden, it's right off the jump. Deku kicks, and he's going straight at Chisaki after they're looking at each other, and this man punches him in the side and pushes him down. Now I don't know how much percent he was using on that punch. It could have been 5, 8%, because if we all remember, the highest Deku can go, from what I know, if there's anything that I'm saying wrong, please put that in the comment section if I'm wrong about something. Say like if he's using a higher percentage than he is, than 20% this fight, but or if he's able to use a different percent other than 20% in this fight. But the highest he goes up to is 8%, so he gives Overhaul an 8% punch and he knocks him back. Um, and basically, Overhaul sees that. So, anyways, Night Eye goes over to comfort Eerie and Mirio. Eraserhead, he basically already has his quirk erasure, quirk activated. So obviously Chisaki can't do anything because he puts his hand on the ground to try to do the little wall things and whatever, and it doesn't work. So, but basically, Overhaul sees something happening. He gets Deku out of the way before, and he actually gets hit in the arm by a dude and one of the other 8 bullets of the Saikai, who basically got revived due to Overhaul, which is crazy. And basically, those two gone, and there's some like I guess they're on the underground of the fight or something like that, and he's just holding him steady, really. So this is where it becomes the part where it's really Deku versus Overhaul. So yeah, there was something else that I had to make a point of. I forgot. I was whatever. But anyways, oh yeah, that's what it is. So anyways, Overhaul's monologuing after this, and basically he confirms the case, the prediction that I thought that Mirio lost his quirk, for good, and he confirms that yeah, the bullet you took was the one that takes away your quirks forever, and stuff like that. Now, not and this shocks Night Eye and Deku. Now, probably not at Night Eye as much because he already foresaw this, especially the way how the episode turned out. But it really gets Deku literally upset. To the point, I think he makes one attack, or before he makes his attack, Overhaul does like something. He grabs his one of his comrades and literally just does the thing that most animes typically do. They rip off from Dragon Ball, especially, and that pertains to fusion. I swear, almost every final fight, well, not every, but some final fights have these fusion moments where the enemy or the main character fuses with another character. It's usually the enemy of these other animes, though. So he fuses with this dude, and oh my goodness, the transformation was like legit crazy to watch. It was awesome. It was my goodness, it was crazy. So this dude looks. So, anyways, this dude looks crazy. He looks insane, and he looks like he's a straight up madman. Um, you know, he is a straight up madman. This dude literally now, instead of having 2 arms, he got 4 arms now. So he basically Dr. Octopus up in here. So like, my goodness. He starts monologuing more, and he basically confirms the fact that Eri is not his daughter yet again, but he is the the boss of the Shiosaikai granddaughter, which was predictable because the boss looked like his hair looked exactly identical to Eri. So he confirms that he's Eri, the boss is Eri's granddaughter. So it's like, okay, I figured it'd be somebody related to maybe the guy's boss, because that's what I thought at first. It might be something related, but or somebody just completely new. But anyways, Deku goes in for a punch. I think he has like a rock, and then like there's a little short image in my thumbnail of the video. That's what it is. He takes a punch with a rock, and he just throws it at him, and boom, he basically he basically like takes that, and freaking Overhaul's just OP this episode. He takes the Overhaul takes the thing, he pushes Deku back. Naya tells Deku, get back, go take Mirio and Eri and get out of here. I'll take care of this. So basically Night Eye and um Night Eye and Overhaul have this short little fight, only for Night Eye to sadly lose the fight, and almost like literally like Mario, he gets impaled. Um, a lot of impalings the last two episodes. Like literally, this dude is impaling people. Um, because literally right as Deku, Mirio, and Ir are about to leave, um, you know, he we basically see the revelations that you know, um, I got impaled. Now during that whole scuttle bug, Night Eye's using his quirk to foresee the attacks, Overhaul's doing. And they cut back to a scene where he was talking to Miro. Probably when Miro first entered the his agency, was that he was going to um make sure when he fights, make sure you predict your opponent's moves, fast basically. And then it cuts to another, you know, passing probably before this whole operation even goes down, is when he's talking to Gran Torino, and he's basically saying how he wants to change the future, but every time he looks for a different way, it ends up being the same exact ending regardless. And he says he's never going to use his quirk again to foresee, even though technically he's doing it right now. um, and basically, before he dies, he sees that Deku's gonna fight Overhaul, but it cuts off as a part where it looks like Deku is going to die. So obviously, Night Eye thinks Deku's going to die, and all his hope will be for loss. And he'll take what is it? Overhaul will take Eri, and they'll just get away, basically. And that's when it shows him getting impaled. He get impaled through his arm and then his chin. I'm like, dang, this guy got messed up. I'm like, there's no way this guy's coming back to life. There's no way this guy's coming back to life. He's dead. He's dead. So, in other words, my prediction, I guess, for this season's death, or this death, is the fact that instead of Mirio dying, it's gonna be Night Eye that dies. Now in the trail, now in the next episode preview, it shows that he's slightly alive, but I feel like he's going to die because, dude, he not only got impaled through his arm, he got impaled through literally his kidneys area, his stomach area, almost his freaking dude. He literally got impaled pretty bad. Um, so he's probably gonna die regardless. He's probably gonna die way after this fight's over. Albeit I'm not a manga reader, so I I don't know. No, I'm really tempted to read the manga to see what happens next because I'm like, ooh, I want to see. I can't wait another week. But anyways, Deku goes in charging. Well, before he goes in charging, after he sees a Night Eye death, he goes up to one for all, 20%. So he literally skips past 8%, 10%, even 15%. This dude jumps up to 20%. And he basically is Deku's talking, and he's like, I can feel my bones literally, you know, creaking and stuff like that. In other words, which I was looking through comment sections of other videos and stuff like that, basically saying that basically 20%, or what they were comparing it to, is 20% is basically like Goku when he first used Kaioken times 3 way back in the Saiyan saga, where he can use it, but the drawbacks on it will be signified. But then again, we know that whenever Deku goes to a higher percent usage or usage of one for all, that is higher than his, what he's currently at right now, we know he's gonna end up breaking bones. But in this, he goes in with 20%. He doesn't break any bones. It's just basically, in essence, which most people were saying, that he's on the verge of breaking his bones. Basically, he's on the actual limit. So, Deku is literally going all in. Now he comes to a conclusion. He's like, "Look, I gotta knock this guy out, and I gotta make sure I take him out right now. Otherwise, it's a lost cause, and we're going to lose." So Deku goes in. He jumps up. I, I believe, yeah, I believe he jumps up, or he gets in a little scuffle, and then what you see is one of his little arm gauntlets that protect his arms from getting damaged. You know, that kind of breaks off. I don't know if that was because of Overhaul's quirk, or if that's just because the immense force of his 20%, basically. So he jumps up to the wall. He comes down, and this is when we get Manchester Smash. And he's literally trying to kick Overhaul and clunk him out. Now it looks like he was gonna freaking break his neck and kill him, but Overhaul slightly, and I mean just barely, gets out of the way. And he tells Deku, he's like, I can't believe you. And he basically tells Deku, like any other villain Deku's come across in the past, or what's been said about a lot of people, is what a lot of people always says about Deku's fight style is that his offense is very, he's fast and moving, but he's very predictable with how you can read his movements easy. And Overhaul says, I read that movement like a book, basically. He goes in and basically Deku, block. Well, he has his Iron Souls block an attack, which he basically says, if it wasn't for my Iron Souls, if I had my old shoes, I would have died, basically. I would have got impaled myself. So because the Iron Souls, it protected him. So anyways, you know, he it cuts back to Erie and are basically throughout the fight continues, and then we get the scene like in like little you know um cut scenes where it shows that Deku looks like he's about to die. It cuts back to Erie and Mario. Mario looks he's literally down for the count. He can't move no more. He's literally exhausted all his energy, and he just has to stay put. Um, and basically, it cuts back to Deku, and only to realize that Deku, he didn't die. He has two of the pillar things, and he must have got impaled literally right through his thigh quad areas. And my goodness, it looked painful enough. And basically, Overhaul has this thing. He puts on one of the newer hands he has, and then his mouth opens, and he basically talks, and he's I guess projecting a voice to Erie, basically saying, "You better come back because someone's going to die." So she foolishly comes back, because guess what? She doesn't like people dying, or see people dying for her sake, and basically, you know, it's just a whole messed up individual thing. And it goes to show why that boss way back in the cutscene did not like Overhaul's plan, because Overhaul is basically using this dude's granddaughter like, a pawn just for his own goal. And it's really messed up too, because this girl really just comes to him because she feels threatened and she doesn't want other people to die, like I said, for her sake. But basically, Deku's getting all this, revelation and stuff like this that he's talking. And he's like, you know what? Damn this anymore. He's like, I'm effing tired of this. He gets one of the freaking rock things out of his knees, and he's like, I will change the future. Basically talking to, basically, monologuing to, talking to Night Eye's statement of the fact that he was going to die too, but Deku basically says, like, I don't care. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to save the future, and I'm going to save Erie. And basically, it looks like he's gonna charge in, and then all of a sudden we see Ryuku, Rappi, and Ochako actually come down from like the top, and they're like fighting the one big muscular guy. I figured they take him out because he's nowhere to be seen in the next episode preview. So he that's it, and that's where the episode ends off. So yeah, very good episode, very good episode, and I can't wait for next week's episode because the next episode preview is titled Infinite 100%. So it looks like Deku is going to need to use 100%, one for all, to beat this guy, and I figured he might have to, even though he might in result break his bones and his arms and do basically what Recovery Girl said he shouldn't do anymore. Otherwise, he could get paralyzed for life. But Deku's in a basically position where he can't do anything. Now, I think it's gonna be awesome. Well, I think it's gonna be dope. But obviously, I think over Sue, Ochako, and I think Nejire will probably be there too. Um, they'll probably tell her to go get over Mirio, and Ryuku, they're probably gonna be watching Deku save the day, which I find literally awesome, especially for Ochako's case, because um, that is kind of her shipping partner. In essence, she's gonna see her boyfriend save the day, but it's gonna be looking like this is gonna be Deku's big moment on his step to being on his and he's had steps, but I think this is gonna be his first legit step to becoming the number one hero that wants to surpass All Might and stuff like that. So it's looking like he's gonna have to use 100% of his power, and it's looking like next episode is going to also be the climax of this whole shebang. So it's looking like Deku will win next week, which of course, and he's gonna change the future. We did see not, I guess, slightly on the edge of, being alive. He's probably gonna see the end of the fight, and then he's gonna be like, yeah, dead. But other than that, yeah, it was another good episode. Really good episode, and I can't wait for next week's episode. The only thing that sucks about next week's episode is it's the last Saturday before I have to go back to school when before Christmas break ends for me. So that sucks. So yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, also quick tidbit: the League of Villains, Toga and Twice do make a slight appearance, and they were, uh, I think it was Twice that whispered something to her ears, like, and Toga's like, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea." Basically, it looks like they're just gonna let Overhaul and Deku beat each other up, and they're gonna make a move or something like that. But we'll see where that goes. But other than that, it was a good episode. So yeah, My Hero Academia season 4, episode 12. Another good episode. I'd say give it a 9 out of 10. But we're just gonna wait another Saturday. My goodness, it's great. This is taking too long. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. It's Camry 15. If you like this video, leave a like. If you want to hit the subscribe button to get more My Hero Academia content, or content of any other anime that I'm doing, I think I might start incorporating Doctor Stone. I started watching that last night, and I'm actually starting to like that show a lot. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. So yeah. Also, if you want to leave a comment in the comment section pertaining to some things, um, why it keeps it, not focusing to next week's episode, but really this episode and certain things, go right ahead. I just don't want to get spoiled for next week's episode because next week's episode is gonna be a big episode, and I'm only anime. Only, well, depends. I might eventually read the manga at some point, but we'll see. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. Anyways, it's Camry 15. I hope you guys have a great day.